Mumbai. I'm Toya joining you from New Delhi. Both of our cities are seeing rainy days, and we've got what you can do when it comes to your vehicles lined up for you in just a minute.
How to get yourself rain ready and on a ride. Monsoon Mayhem turns the spotlight back on our cars. What can we do to flood-proof our four-wheelers? All the wet weather wisdom you need coming up on the program. Also, we bring you some very important car insurance tips that you should keep in mind if you plan to be driving out and taking out your vehicles this monsoon.
Star spinner Sneh Rana scripting history, the second Indian woman bowler to achieve a 10-wicket haul. India's all-rounder reveals her surreal moment. She tells us all.
Also Olympics, it's the opening ceremony today, but the games for India already underway. When it comes to the women's archery team, we have stormed into the quarterfinals. The men archery team also in the quarterfinal. Abhinav Bindra meanwhile participated in the torch relay. We'll bring you all the highlights from the Paris Games.
We, of course, want you to keep your eyes glued to all the Olympic updates. But what else can you do? What are the must-watch movies and OTT binge-worthy shows for this weekend? We're going to bring you our top picks. Sit back and watch our roundup. Good morning. So Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai, chances are that you've seen heavy rain wherever you are in the country today. Over the last 24 hours, most of our main urban cities have seen rainfall and it's pouring outside. It might be a little gloomy. Traffic jams going to abound on your way to work today, tomorrow, yesterday too.
Yeah, and if you're in Mumbai, there's been non-stop rain. You have to sort of have a weather calendar of sorts. It's been rain over the past couple of days, and the weather department says it's not going to change in the coming days as well. So, if you're driving to work and you're facing floods, potholes, of course, other commuters as well, what should you do to ensure that your car is ready for the monsoon this time around? So we thought on TBC we'll keep you sort of safe from the monsoon as well. We brought you lots of stories on what to do with your skin, your health, all of that. But what about our ferries? What about our cars?
Exactly. Today we'll steer you through everything you need to know to keep your car safe, to keep it looking good, and lastly, well insured. So from slick driving tips for wet roads to the depths of insurance coverage to keep you afloat. This is our TBC breakdown. Buckle up, get ready for a sea of useful information. Take a look. So we've got a very brief reprieve from rainfall since the morning, and we thought we must use this time to go over to someone who knows their cars very well. Kranti Sambhav is with us from Overdrive. Kranti, pretend we could take our audiences back to May, June, pretend we could use a time machine and we could tell them this is what you have to do to prepare your car best for this kind of weather. What would you have said?
Okay, so I'll give you 2-3 maybe practical tips which I use it. I'm a very lazy driver, so at times I've missed it, but with my experience I can tell you that one thing which we generally miss is the condition of your wiper blades, because what happens during summers we hardly use it, and then they become, over the time they become hard, and then they don't.
So how do you know it's time for a change? What are you looking for?
It's softer, and then when you use it, then it wipes clean. So that is something which we should take a look at definitely. And then the condition of the tires. If it loses tread, then what happens? If you must have heard that term called hydroplaning, because if there are no treads, it can't throw water away from in between, and then what happens? There's water log between the tire surface and the road, and then we brake or accelerate, it can just skid, and that's very dangerous. Because the next step I think we should always look at, which all our viewers should pay attention to, is the brake, the condition of the brakes, because that is something which is tricky. You should see and check if it is stopping properly or not, because what happens during monsoon, at times, you see lots of water, lots of moisture on the discs and everything. At times it takes time. So your usual braking is not happening at that time. At times we panic because of that.
Yeah.
So it's better we take it to the service station. Then you can get the AC also checked and rest of the stuff. What all hygiene, checkups we can get it done. But these 3-4 tips are something which I tell to everyone.
So Kranti, tell us, obviously right now it's cleared out, but if you're stepping out, if it's raining outside...
Don't step out.
Okay.
That's the first tip I can give you. I mean, it's not only you who's driving. I mean, other drivers can, make some mistake, commit some kind of, driving mistake, and then all of us are unsafe. But again, that is only when you can. Otherwise, one thing which you need to take care of is the balance between braking and acceleration. Don't do sudden braking. Don't do violent acceleration. You might lose traction. And in case, if you remember that thing we discussed, hydroplaning, in case that is happening where you think that your car is sliding, then just go easy on your accelerator. Just let go of the gas, and you should be okay.
What about hazards? Sometimes people will put their lights on.
Yeah, that is a very common mistake we do. That's supposed to be for static cars. In case the car is broken down, then we use that blinker. Not while driving in the rains. I mean, for visibility, you can switch on the lights. You don't have to use the blinkers, because blinkers internationally is supposed to be the signal for a distress call kind of thing, where the car it's a hazard. So it is not supposed to be used while driving.
Tell us, Kranti, of course, if you have a car like this, that's an off-roader, you've got that gap over here, so you maybe don't have to worry so much. But if you don't have this kind of car, what do you do? How do you gauge, even when you're stepping outside the house, how much flooding is taking place? Can I take my car outside?
Yeah. So that's the reason we see so many Indians buying SUVs, for to take care of the bad roads, and then these kind of flooding or waterlogging events. So even if you don't have higher cars, what I do, I'll give you my my way of tackling that. Whenever I see some kind of waterlogged area, puddles, so I wait. So I wait for other cars to pass in case someone is already there. So I can compare the height of that car to mine. When you look at those puddles, what we see, the most horrific visuals are those cars submerged in water or cars getting stalled. There are like mainly 3 reasons why we see that. One is obviously the electric circuit. In case the water goes there, it can cause malfunction and the car stalls. One reason which we generally see is your exhaust pipe getting submerged in,
so this is obviously if the exhaust pipe is not high enough,
yes,
right?
Yes,
okay.
So that can stall the vehicle. But one of the misconceptions we have seen is that many customers, many car buyers, they feel, or the users, they feel that because of this, the engine gets damaged. It's not that. So this is what we have to be careful with, because air intake is the spot where it should be clean. Water should not enter there, because it will go to the engine, because it's supplying air to the engine, and then that process called hydrolocking, that happens, and it damages your vehicle, and that's the most expensive thing which we keep hearing about. And you can actually gauge, you can check your bonnet and see what kind of air intake level are we looking at.
Kranti, okay, what if one is taking all of these precautions and your car is still stalling?
Yeah.
Water's still maybe entering. What are you supposed to do?
That's the most important thing you have to remember. You have to keep reminding yourself and not panic. Don't try to restart it. Maybe it's just stalled because of any other reason, and the moment we try to restart it, the water might enter the engine. So even if it is not damaged earlier, maybe we can damage it later by trying to restart it.
We had to do this with an electric vehicle also. Tell us, we're standing in front of an EV right now. You think EV, electric vehicle in the water, electric shock, what could happen there? Tell us.
I mean, there are two school of thoughts, I would say, maybe 2 thoughts. One is obviously that it doesn't have exhaust pipe or air intake the way ICE engines have. So this might be safer in water. And the other thought is that battery plus water is dangerous. But both the cases, both thoughts, I think are not accurate, because They have these batteries and motors which are IP67 rated, which is basically, IP is not that what we use to
property.
intellectual property. This is ingress protection from dust and water, but water for a limited period of time. So we can't make it amphibious vehicle just because it has IP67. But at the same time, this is not as dangerous as many people think, that just because it has battery and the moment we go in some kind of puddle, it'll give us electric shock. So it's not.
One of the things you look at is how to keep a car beautiful, especially in this weather also. So what do you suggest if you're taking your car out in the rain, dhool, mitti, acid rain? How do you save your car from all of that?
So a very good question, Toya. And if I talk about precautions which needs to be taken in monsoon, so a person should always get his glass coating done before monsoon season start, because glass coating increases the hydrophobicity of the glass. Second thing,
Coatings वगैरह?
Second thing, what we can do कि we have different type of coatings available in the market as of now. अगर हम coating कराते हैं तो बहुत ही बढ़िया है, because what coating does, it forms a small protective layer over the car exterior paint surface. तो anti rust coating हम करा सकते हैं, हमारी कार पे rust नहीं लगेगी उससे.
All right, so that was interesting, you guys, and very useful tips as well, and some quick fixes on what you can do to ensure that you have a smooth run this monsoon season. But what if you get trapped in some extremes, just like our weather patterns these days? Well, sample these pictures. Maharashtra is in the thick of a monsoon and it's been sort of raining non-stop, which for some areas in Pune meant that they were not plying on the road. The cars were literally floating. Heavy waterlogged areas and floating cars and bikes have become a common sight in our urban cities. So what should you do if your car or bike ends up submerged in this monsoon bath? Remember, the repairs on the car inundated like these can come to lakhs, if not thousands, and a lot of times the insurance does not cover it. So it is crucial to check the specifics of your coverage. Let's tell you what you have to specifically check for in your insurance cover. Let us start by the 5 types of different insurance coverage that is actually available in India. Let's bring you those graphics up then. First up, the most important and perhaps the most common one is the one we all buy online, a third-party liability insurance, which covers the cost of repairs or replacement of damaged vehicles or the third parties, that is, and it's mandatory under the Motor Vehicles Act. But is it enough? Which brings me to number 2, collision damage or own damage cover. Now, under this, the cost of the repairs of your vehicle that have been damaged is reimbursed, but to determine the cost of the collision coverage, it is the age and the insured sort of declared value that is taken into account to arrive at that premium. There is a lot of debate and a lot of conflict that happens here. Number 3 on the list, the third kind of insurance, is the personal accident cover. This is used while reimbursing of the medical expenses after an accident. Number 4, let's take you to that, zero depreciation insurance. This means the coverage is generally offered as an add-on to the car insurance policies, and if your car parts are to be replaced, the insurer will consider the depreciated value of the parts of the claim settlement. Number 5, and perhaps the one that is very, very key, a comprehensive car insurance. Now, this type of coverage gives the highest level of protection as it includes liability for third parties, it includes damage to own vehicles, personal accidents cover, and also all non-collision damages such as storms, floods, fire, and theft. So this should ideally be covering in case your car is completely inundated. But the bottom line here, guys, really is that always read the fine print of your insurance policy. The biggest issue that customers face is that we do not read the terms and conditions and we end up paying for it later. So those are some easy to follow instructions, simple steps. So happy driving this monsoon.
Okay, so we hope you've taken note of some of those tips as you step out. A lot of you are probably stepping out as we speak right now. Delhi at least is inundated. Rainfall happening earlier. Now you've got jams taking place. Parts of Delhi seeing water 3 feet, 4 feet high right now. Take those tips. Please use them. We're going to head into a quick break. Next up on the other side of the break, we have a very special guest. Off spinner Sneh Rana, who became the first Indian woman bowler to take a 10-wicket haul in a test match. We'll be bringing you her in just a few minutes.
That's been experienced and such subways have been shut. So yes, though we see that when it comes to local trains, it's the lifeline of Mumbai that in fact impacts the most. That impacts the commute most in Mumbai. As of now, those are running well, but when it comes to several low-lying areas, there is waterlogging that's already started in several parts of the city. Yes.
Right, thank you so much for that, Yesha. Let me also take this across to my colleague Vivek Gupta from News 18 India, who's with us on the broadcast. Vivek, the situation in Pune and other adjoining areas has really worsened. Orange and red alerts for Navi Mumbai as well. What is it looking like for this entire week, considering there's one more day for the schools to probably be allowed to not function because of the rain? So what are you learning in that regard?
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। देखिए पुणे में कल देर रात से काफी ज्यादा तेज बारिश हो रही है और इतनी ज्यादा बारिश होने की वजह से पुणे कलेक्टर ने डिसाइड किया है कि सभी स्कूलों को अब पुणे में बंद कर दिया गया है और पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के जितने भी आसपास के इलाके हैं वहां पर फ्लडिंग हो रही है। फ्लडिंग की वजह से रोड और घरों तक पूरा तरह से पानी भर चुका है। लोगों को काफी ज्यादा परेशानी झेलनी पड़ रही है। इसी वजह से अब पुणे कलेक्टर ने एक एडवाइजरी जारी की है और साफ तौर पे कहा है कि पूरे पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में रेड अलर्ट घोषित कर दिया गया है। सभी स्कूलों को बंद कर दिया गया है, जिसके बाद जो भी इमरजेंसी काम ना हो वो अपने घरों से बाहर ना निकलें, क्योंकि सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात यह है कि खड़क पासला डैम से 40,000 क्यूसेक पानी को छोड़ा जा रहा है। अगर बारिश इसी तरह कंटिन्यू रही तो पुणे के आसपास के इलाकों में और भी पानी भर सकता है। यही वजह है कि पुणे कलेक्टर ने सभी लोगों से कहा है कि कोई भी जरूरी काम ना हो तो अपने घरों से बाहर ना निकलें, गवर्नमेंट और प्रशासन की हेल्प करें और गवर्नमेंट और जो वहाँ के लोकल म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन है वो अपनी पूरी कोशिश कर रहे हैं जो फ्लडिंग एरिया है वहाँ से जल्द पानी को निकाला जा सके। लेकिन अब जो स्थिति है वो ज़्यादा अच्छी नहीं दिख पा रही है। कई इलाकों में खासकर जो लो लाइन इलाके हैं पुणे और पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के, वहाँ पे काफ़ी ज़्यादा पानी भर चुका है। जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि खड़कवासला डैम से 40,000 क्यूसेक पानी छोड़ने की वजह से जो फ्लडिंग है वो और भी होती जा रही है और पूरे पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में रेड अलर्ट घोषित किया गया है।
राइट, ऑल्सो विवेक, क्या मुंबई की अगर बात करें तो क्या स्थिति है और स्पेशली लो लाइंग एरियाज के लिए क्या एडवाइजरी है?
देखिए अगर खाली हम मुंबई की बात करें तो सुबह 8 बजे से पहले मुंबई में येलो अलर्ट था, लेकिन कंटिन्यू बारिश होने की वजह से अब जो है वो जो येलो अलर्ट है वो ऑरेंज अलर्ट में कन्वर्ट हो चुका है। और आईएमडी के लोगों का कहना है कि सुबह 10 बजे तक ये येलो अलर्ट होगा। 10 बजे के बाद फिर से मॉनिटरिंग की जाएगी सिचुएशन को, उसके बाद कॉल लिया जाएगा कि येलो ऑरेंज अलर्ट को आगे मॉडिफाई करना है या नहीं। इसी वजह से मुंबई के भी कई इलाकों में बारिश हो रही है, खासकर जो लो लाइन इलाके हैं कुर्ला, चेंबूर, विक्रोली, घाटकोपर, इन जगहों पर वो वाटर लॉगिंग की थोड़ी जो शिकायतें वो आ रही हैं। लेकिन फिलहाल अगर बात की जाए तो ऑरेंज अलर्ट है। जो सबब की बात करें तो मिलन सबवे, अंधेरी सबवे, खार सबवे को बंद कर दिया गया है क्योंकि इस पूरे सबवे में पानी भर चुका है और यही कोशिश की जा रही है कि जो बीएमसी ने मानसून से पहले जो तैयारियां की थी, हर जगह वाटर पंप लगाए गए हैं, उन सभी वाटर पंप के जरिए से पानी को निकाला जाए। लेकिन ऑरेंज अलर्ट होने के बावजूद भी मुंबई और आसपास के इलाकों में तेज बारिश हो रही है। नवी मुंबई और थाने, इन दोनों डिस्ट्रिक्ट को रेड अलर्ट में रखा गया है। वहां पर भी बहुत ज्यादा तेज बारिश हो रही है कल रात से।
Right, thank you so much for that, Vivek. And on that note, we are slipping into a very short break. Coming right back. Now, getting some breaking news from Maharashtra. Schools in Pune, Pimpri, Chindwara, and nearby areas have been shut today as rains batter the region. Besides Pune city, the order to shut schools also applies for Pimpri, Chindwara, Bor, Vele, Mawal, Mulshi and other areas of Maharashtra. In fact, the Met Department has issued an orange alert for Mumbai and Palghar, and there has been a red alert that's been issued for Navi Mumbai and Thane. My colleague Yesha has more details. Yesha, what is the situation of the rainfall in the region? And now that we see orange and red alert in various places in Maharashtra, what is it looking like for not just the schools being shut, but also for general colleges and offices that will be allowed to function?
So when you speak of the situation of rains in not only Mumbai but various parts of Maharashtra, as of now, of course, heavy rains continue in most of the parts of the state. Particularly when you speak of Pune, Mulshi area, as well as Baudhan, apart from that Raigarh area, is where we've seen waterlogging. In fact, in several places in Pune, waterlogging is there's 2 to 3 feet waterlogging, where there are several NDRF teams which have been deployed in and around Pune to rescue people. Apart from that, of course, there are we also see that there is a heavy rain alert for the next 48 hours in the entire state of Maharashtra, in Raigarh as well. We see that the heavy rains have been experienced, which is where not only Pune but also Raigarh, schools in Raigarh have also been declared off for today, considering the heavy rains. Yes.
Also, Yesha, what is the situation looking like in Mumbai? Considering a little bit of rain, especially in low-lying areas, really spells a lot of havoc there. It is a trouble for commuters, to say the least. So what is the situation there?
So yes, of course, there's been incessant rains in Mumbai ever since late last night. However, as of now, schools and colleges have been kept. As of now, there is no holiday declared for schools and colleges. But of course, several low-lying areas, like you rightly mentioned, including Andheri subway and several such locations, they've been there is waterlogging that's been experienced, and such subways have been shut. So yes, though we see that when it comes to local trains, it's the lifeline of Mumbai. That in fact impacts the most. That impacts the commute most in Mumbai. As of now, those are running well, but when it comes to several low-lying areas, there is waterlogging that's already started in several.
Welcome back. It's time to take you through stories from India and across the globe. And let's start with a rather fascinating one coming from Delhi. A 20-year-old man dressed as Spider-Man was fined 26,000 rupees for dangerous driving in Delhi's Dwarka area. Aditya, accompanied by 19-year-old Gaurav Singh, who was driving the car, was spotted sitting on the bonnet of a moving vehicle. The police acted on social media complaint, traced the car near the Rainfall Chowk and took the necessary action.
A new study has revealed the presence of harmful forever chemicals, they're being called, in pesticides used in food, in homes and on your pets. These chemicals are known as PFAs. They're persistent in the environment and human body. They pose significant health risks. The study found PFAs in pesticides sprayed on common food staples, apples, corn, all of these things, and it raises concern about widespread, irreversible contamination.
Apple Maps now available on the web, allowing users to access driving and walking directions, ratings and reviews from a desktop to mobile browser. The beta version of the Apple Maps offers a feature similar to the iOS counterpart, including city exploration and business information. Currently available in English, it supports Safari and Chrome on Mac and iPad, as well as Chrome and Edge on the Windows PC.
And this is a unlikely one. A US reality show contestant, his name is Spencer Corey Jones. He killed an 8A protected weka bird during the filming of Race to Survive New Zealand. The incident, which was driven by hunger, there was fatigue involved, it led to his disqualification and warnings from New Zealand's Department of Conservation.
A new study has highlighted the rapid depletion of oxygen in Earth's water bodies, posing a significant threat to aquatic life and ecosystems. The deoxygenation driven by climate change and the greenhouse gas emissions affects the survival of aquatic organisms reliant on dissolved oxygen. Scientists are now calling for the issue to be recognized as a critical planetary boundary.
And a study led by the University of Southampton has found that common illnesses like colds, flus, they can accelerate the progression of multiple sclerosis. Now, the research was following 50 different MS patients over 2.5 years, and it linked infections to increased nerve cell loss within their spinal cords.
Tara Shakti, an award-winning artist from Madagascar, is sending her paintings to the moon as part of the Lunar Codex project. The project aims to sort of preserve human creativity by launching artworks from around the world to the moon in 6 time capsules.
The Indian women's cricket team, let's talk a little bit about them. They've been on a roll in Test cricket at home in the last 7 months. India's played 3 tests at home since December, 1 each against you had England, Australia and South Africa. India has won all 3. The team is right now in top form, but you have a few players that are roaring on the field with new records too. In case you missed out on any of them, this segment right now, we're going to tell you a little bit more because our person of interest will tell you all about her own records. We're talking about Sneh Rana. She's a 30-year-old off-spinner and she's become the first Indian woman bowler to take a 10-wicket haul in a test match.
That's not the only bit. Sneh Rana has also become the second Indian women bowler with the 8-wicket haul in single innings as well. Her record obviously won her the second consecutive player of the match. In fact, she had a cheeky line for the broadcasters at the end of the match as well, who had sort of made a comment about spinners in this sort of format of the game, and she said people think off spinners are easy to play out. I hope this test has given them a few answers. So not holding back that one. Now this conversation that we're about to bring you is about her 10-wicket haul in Test cricket, her comeback to white ball cricket and impact on WPL. Enjoy.
जी जब वो रिकॉर्ड बना था फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग मुझे नहीं पता था कि आई हैव बीन इन दैट एलीट लिस्ट सो आई हैव मेड इट टू द एलीट लिस्ट तो जब मैं बाहर गई तो मुझे सब कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशंस बोल रहे थे एंड तब मुझे पता चला कि ओके ये एक माइलस्टोन बन चुका है। फीलिंग बहुत ही सरियल थी बिकॉज हर एक प्लेयर चाहता है कि वो कुछ ना कुछ अचीव करे एंड मतलब वो एक ड्रीम का मोमेंट था मेरे लिए बिकॉज एलीट प्लेयर के साथ आपका नाम जुड़ना और आई मीन फर्स्ट इंडियन स्पिनर और सेकंड इंडियन बॉलर जब आपका नाम वो एलीट प्लेयर्स के साथ आता है तो ऑब्वियसली आपको बहुत बहुत खुशी होती है। देखिए ऑब्वियसली पहले इतने टेस्ट मैचेस इंडिया में नहीं होते थे बट आई एम थैंकफुल टू बीसीसीआई कि अभी सिर्फ 10 महीने के अंदर या 1 साल के अंदर आई हैव प्लेड 3 टेस्ट मैचेस इन इंडिया। सो ये प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है एंड स्टेप बाय स्टेप ही प्रोग्रेस होता है। हर एक चीज़ ओवरनाइट नहीं होती है। सो बीसीसीआई ने ये स्टेप लिया है तो आगे चल और अगर ये अभी स्टैट्स बना है तो आगे चलकर आई थिंक और ज़्यादा अच्छे स्टैट्स बनेंगे बट जो ये फॉर्मेट है इस चीज़ को जो बीसीसीआई ऊपर कर रहा है लेकर आ रहा है अभी हर एक सीरीज के साथ टेस्ट मैच जोड़ रहा है आई थिंक आई कैन ओनली होप कि ये फ्यूचर में और ज़्यादा आए और ज़्यादा हमें खेलने को। देखिए द टीम इज शेपिंग रियली वेल इन T20s। अगर आपने जिन प्लेयर्स की बात करी है जेमिमा हो गई है शिफाली एंड श्रेयंका पाटिल, रिसेंटली एडेड तनुजा कंवर या राधा यादव, आप देखेंगे कि ये जो प्लेयर्स है ये ऐसे मतलब इन्होंने अभी कुछ टाइम से क्रूशियल टाइम पे क्रूशियल नॉक्स खेल के इंडिया को जिताया है। ऐसे टाइम पे जब इंडिया जब आपके पावर प्ले में विकेट्स चले जाते हैं तो आई एम रियली हैप्पी कि इंडियन फ्यूचर सेफ हैंड्स में है।
Okay, let's take you now to another sporting event, and this one has the entire world's focus. The Olympic opening ceremony will be held today at 9 p.m. India has already started shining in the Olympics just before the mega opening ceremony. So, yesterday you had the Indian women's archery team. It consisted of Bhajan Kaur, you had Deepika Kumari and Ankita Bhatt. They all directly qualified for the quarter-finals of the Olympics. We're going to be bringing you all of the updates of what's already done, what's going to be coming up in the next few days right here on the show. They secured the spot with an impressive 4th place finish, scoring 1983 points. The team will compete in the quarterfinals on the 28th of July. They're facing the winners of the France versus Netherlands match in just a little while.
So they are our massive go for gold hopefuls here, and the country is rooting for them. On the other hand, Indian men's team also shined at their first outing. Indian top seeded Dheeraj Bhumadevara finished 4th in the men's archery ranking round. He had 681 points. Tarun Dev Rai secured the 14th spot. 764 points for him, while Praveen Jadhav settled for the 39th spot with 658 points. The trio's combined tally of 13 points powered India to the 3rd place, finishing just above China. Now, the Indians men team will face the winner of the Turkey versus Colombia match in the quarterfinals. And meanwhile, while all of this is happening, we are also looking at what else has been happening with the torchbearers. We had a proud moment there. India's golden boy, Abhinav Bindra, also the first Indian Olympic gold medalist for us. He carried the Olympic torch in the relay for the Paris 2024 Olympics. This honour follows his receipt of the prestigious Olympic Order of the International Olympic Committee.
Well, this right behind is the picture of Paris, really, in the run-up to the big moment, the opening of the Games. Excitement behind these barriers. You have the river right there, and that's where the opening ceremony will take place. It will float down that river, really, but exclusion on this side of it. So we're going to see a lot of excitement, but then at the cost of a fair degree of disruption, and so it must be, really. We're going to see a greater participation in these games than we've ever seen to this extent by way of direct viewer presence at the event. But of course, that has to be managed very cautiously, given that Paris has experienced a number of terrorist attacks in recent years, and very recently a great deal of rioting. So there is a real risk of some disruption to the ceremony and to the games, and a risk to those who are attending and participating. Both have to be managed very cautiously. The excitement and the exclusion, inevitable that we should have a sort of cocktail of both.
Both of them, because I just live at the side of the Eiffel Tower, and it's been like that for 1 month now. It's very complicated to go around because the police has blocked everything. They are afraid, of course, of terrorism attacks, so that's why it's so blocked. And it's a bit complicated for the people living in Paris at the moment to go to work and so on. But we are very excited because this is a very big event, and this is something you just live once in your life. So this is probably the only time I can see that, you know. We hope that it will be very international and that everybody has got a chance to have a medal. And you know, in the medal, there is a piece of the Eiffel Tower inside the medals, you know. So
we're seeing a lot of disruption, a lot of confusion, I think, behind where you can and can't go. We arrived recently without the knowledge of the QR code. So we've missed out on getting the QR code now. We're leaving before it's available to get. So we are restricted to go to many places, but still it's great to be here. So, you know, Paris is amazing. So we'll just keep going wherever we can go.
It's made it very difficult, I'd say, because you can't get across the bridge and all the bridges are closed. So I'd say it's made it more difficult, but it is special. Yeah. Anyone else?
And what's nice about it?
Bringing all the people together is really nice. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's cool to have like our whole Australian team here with us when we're in Paris at the same time as we're from Australia as well, like the Matildas and stuff.
The confusion on where to go or not has hit some of the teams themselves. Here are some lost cars from the Canadian team. The restrictions do mean it's all quiet in the eye of the storm. The Eiffel Tower itself stands cordoned off. Tourists are discovering all sorts of new angles for their selfies against the tower. Happily, it stands tall enough. It's all taking place around some seriously heavy security. Nobody will mind the disruption really so long as the games go smooth and safe. The army and the police are out in strength. That very visible presence is a firm message to any potential troublemaker. But there is another army out on the streets, the army of volunteers on just about every road in central Paris and certainly at all metro stations to guide visitors, both domestic and international. A number of metro stations in central Paris have been closed, and so locals too need some guidance. There are two events on, really, the opening of the games and then the games themselves. At the moment, for Parisians, it's all about the first.
All right, so that was Sanjay Suri giving you a glimpse of what and how Paris is actually preparing for the games, even amidst all the security. But like we've been saying, there is a lot of excitement building up here in India. Paris, the city of lights, is set ablaze for the most anticipated event of the decade, the 2024 Olympics. And all our social media feeds are absolutely inundated by the behind-the-scene footage, some of which is flashing on your screen right now. The Olympic Village itself, what are the preparations like? All of us really want to get a glimpse of it, and this is the latest one that has popped up from the India House.
We're just showing you those visuals. Obviously, our players, Team India, is carrying the weight of a billion hopes. We'll be telling you how they're performing every day. What we're showing you, as Sonal said, is the India House. It's India's first ever country house at the Olympics. It's been conceptualized by Reliance Foundation. It's in association with the Indian Olympic Association, and lots more in terms of visuals we'll be bringing you over the next few days from there. Okay, welcome to another edition of TGIF. It's Friday. We love to tell you what you can do with your weekend, how you can spend it. Obviously, you want to be tracking the Olympics and what's taking place there. So keep up to date with those. But in terms of films, live events, what can you go do with your friends? First up, in theatres, and this is something that everyone's been looking forward to for a while. Taylor Swift just a few hours ago posted a story saying you have to go see Deadpool and Wolverine. Marvel Studios is bringing this to your screens everywhere across the world. The ultimate iconic cinematic team. We're going to show you that in just a second. Get ready for some high-octane action with that film.
And if you don't understand Deadpool, just like me, there are other options for you as well. If you like live entertainment, comedian Ravi Gupta is performing his set on Kal Ki Chinta Nahi Karna in Pune. That's happening on the 25th. Lots of other events as well. We are buzzing with activity this monsoon. Take a look.
Hi everyone, we are back with yet another episode of TGIF on the Breakfast Club. Let's not waste much of your time and let's dive straight into the list of movies that you can watch in your nearby theatres this weekend. Number 1 is Operation Ravan. Let me give you a little bit of context about this movie. It's about a serial killer targeting brides while a magnate's son infiltrates a news channel, leading to a tense showdown between the hunter and, of course, the hunted. Number 2 is the biggest in the list, Deadpool and Wolverine. Marvel Studios' Deadpool and Wolverine delivers the ultimate iconic and cinematic team-up throwdown on July 26 in your nearby theatres. Do watch and don't forget to wear yellow and red. Let's jump across to the list of OTT releases. Number 1 is Time Bandits, releasing on Apple TV+. The plot centers around Kevin, Kal-El Tuck, an 11-year-old history enthusiast who unexpectedly comes across a ragtag group of time-traveling thieves. Number 2 is Cleo Season 2. It's coming up on Netflix. It's about Jella Haase reprises her role as Cleo Straub, a former East German Stasi assassin. The new episodes, in fact, dug deeper into her relentless quest to retrieve a mysterious red suitcase which holds documents pivotal to the reorganization of post-Cold War Europe. Number 3 is the Decameron, releasing on Netflix, set against the backdrop of the Black Death in 1348. The plot follows a group of nobles and their servants who escape a grand villa in the Italian countryside, hoping to avoid the plague's devastation. Number 4 is Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, coming up on Prime Video. It's about a top secret team known for their bizarre tactics embarks on the seemingly impossible task of sabotaging Nazi operations behind enemy lines. Then comes the Tokyo Swindlers. It's coming up on Netflix. It revolves around a cunning group of land scammers who orchestrate an elaborate and high-stakes real estate fraud in Tokyo. Now come out of your comfort zone. Attend a couple of these events planned for you for this weekend. Number 1 is When Chai Met Toes. They are performing live in Indore on July 27. Don't miss a chance to attend this concert. Number 2 is Rekha Bharadwaj Live. Ace singer Rekha Bharadwaj is performing live on July 27th as well, but in Kolkata. Number 3 is comedian Ravi Gupta. He is performing his set Kal Ki Chinta Nahi Karta in Pune on July 27th as well. Attend this for a couple of LOL moments. That's a wrap from our side this weekend. Stay hydrated, stay entertained. See you next week with yet another planner.
All right, couple of LOL moments over there, but there are lots of other things as well, and we thought we'll make a special mention for all you Emily in Paris fans. Well, the much-awaited trailer for season 4 is finally out, and it seems to be glowing even more in her fashionable pics. But Toya, what have you been thinking about the fashion style in Emily in Paris? The internet seems to be divided on which way this is going.
I was going to say,
there's a lot which finds it very, very loud.
I was going to agree. It's quite a divisive show. I know that when it came out, it was compared to Sex and the City and always called the younger version of it. I was never a fan, but I've seen people around me love it. It was actually 2022's most watched show on Netflix. So clearly it's got people glued. In the UK in particular, it was really, really loved. It's bold color palettes, it's stripes, it's pantsuits. I've heard the internet fall in love with it. Let's just bring you this breakdown of everything there is to look forward to, right from the fashion to the storyline in the next season. Fans think they've already got the entire season figured out. I should warn you. But this is what's coming up. Take a look.
The mother of chic fashion is back. And this time, her wardrobe looks even better and splashier. The trailer of Emily in Paris Season 4 is out, and the outfits already have us hooked, lined and sinkered. Lily Collins, aka Emily, looks more striking this time in bold palettes and stripes. Starting with the classic, she channeled the aesthetic of Audrey Hepburn's My Fair Lady in a black and white striped gown complete with a big bow, white brim hat, masquerade mask, bold lips and short hair. We think in this particular scene, she will make a show-stopping entry. She is also rocking many tailored pantsuits in the new season in bold colors, while ditching her usual pastel and earthy tones. Check out this look. Emily's bold cobalt blue suit complements her lively personality so much, pushing us to go for bolder colors. In another scene, she wore a red and white striped fitted pantsuit paired with a red shirt and bold lips, which once again looks striking. Her white shirt game also looks fetch in many scenes. The ruffled white shirt with a mustard yellow bow necktie is how you should be styling your basic white shirt next. And who said one has to look boring while exercising? In the very first scene, Emily wore a funky sleeveless jacket along with a red sports top. Oh, and isn't this pink cropped shrug looking so cute? We love it and can't wait to see all the fashionable outfits. What do you think of Emily's fashion in season 4?
Okay, let's take you from that. Emily in Paris centers a few different great relationships, and we'll take from that and talk to you a little bit about what we're going to show you next. Relationships are great, right? You've had a long day, you have a partner that you can unwind with, that you can call your own, you can Netflix and chill, you can just sit down with them. But the issue is that these days, one of the things we talk about the most is the problem of commitment. You know, you're there, the other partner's not entirely emotionally there, and then sometimes you have a situationship of sorts that's created, right? One of you seems afraid to commit, the other maybe can't commit, something in between a relationship and not a relationship is formed. Are we ringing any bells for you?
Well, it's called situationship. The internet is already all abuzz with it. Gen Z is flashing this word all over. Like a lot of women, even Bollywood trendsetter Janhvi Kapoor is dead against such a ship, so to say, she said. And are you anyone, or do you know anyone who is in a situationship without knowing you're in one? It's really complicated, but here are the 5 signs to know if you are in this so-called situationship. Watch this report.
After what she recently did, or in this case, say, on behalf of all the ladies out there, Bollywood actress Janhvi Kapoor has earned our respect. In a recent interview with Mashable, the 27-year-old actress called the concept of situationships retarded and said she's never been in one. She went on to reiterate her opinion by rightly pointing out that you're either interested in that person and want to commit to them, or you are not, in which case you don't lead them on by playing rubbish games. Preach, Queen! Now you may have heard this term situationship on TikTok or Instagram. But for those of you like us who do not belong to the Gen Z category, here's what you need to know. So basically, a situationship is a ship that lacks clear definitions or commitment or boundaries. In layman's term, it means you will give or get all the benefits of being someone's significant other without the exclusive tag. So all the ha-ha-hees, the ooh-ahs, the butterflies will happen without the tag of a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Oh, preposterous, right? Anyway, there's still many people out there who are stuck in situationships without knowing they're in one. So here's a simple guide for you. Ladies, listen up. Signs you are in a situationship. You've never had that define the relationship conversation. There's zero progress. You're still at the same place you started off. He takes painstaking efforts to keep you away from everyone that's dear to him. You hang out either at his place or yours, but he's never really taken the effort to plan a date with you. Your plans with him are always last minute, like, hey, what up, let's hang. Never a conversation with, hi, are you free on Saturday? There you go. These are the red flags. If this story sounds like yours, baby, run for your life.
All right, sounds like running from your life, but I don't know. There is friendship, there is situationship, there is relationship, there is confusion. That is the end of all of it all. But Toya, this is really catching up, isn't it? But it's good to hear Janhvi Kapoor actually come out and say that, listen, it's not for me.
Right. The only thing I disagreed with in the framing of that was that it can also happen to men, right? That entire video we just watched just targeted at women. But of course, situationships, not knowing where you want to go, that can happen to any gender. Having confusion, especially in today's day and age, where we really have stretched out even what dating looks like. There are so many ways to get to know another person. Intimacy has so many issues before it. It's become very complicated. It's funny because it's like we were discussing yesterday. Maybe we are the overthinking generation. All right, we're going to move on though from this review at relationships, and we'll take you now to something slightly different. Okay, we bring you now a special section on financial markets powered by Money Control Pro. It's Money Control's premium destination for investing and business insights. First, an overview of markets. GIFT Nifty trends indicate a positive start for Indian equity indices. US shares fell, weighed by the sell-off in large tech shares that spread to stocks of key AI firms. Asian stocks gained a recent sharp fall, triggered buying of crude oil and of gold prices under pressure. This is obviously amid continued fears of Chinese economy weakness.
All right, let's look at sectors then. While demand for the white goods has been sluggish, air conditioning has stood out as an exception. The quarter gone by has seen some strong demand for ACs thanks to the heat wave. This has aided third-party manufacturers who produce these goods as well. However, all this is not well for those third-party manufacturers, as in-house manufacturing by these AC companies is catching up. You can log into Money Control Pro to find out more about these sectors and various other actionable insights on markets. It is the premium destination for investing views and financial insights you will ever need, brought to you by Money Control.
Okay, and with that, we're going to draw our show to a close. As we told you earlier, Mumbai is going to see a number of rainy days. Delhi is also going to see a number of rainy days over the weekend. So all the tips we brought you right in the front of the show, apply them to your daily life. We hope you have a smooth ride going back home. For now, though, that's all we have for you this week.
We'll see you again Monday. Bye-bye.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree. One tree for humanity. One tree for Mother Earth. One tree for a future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
As a lead. Right, thank you so much for that, Yesha. Let me also take this across to my colleague Vivek Gupta from News 18 India, who's with us on the broadcast. Vivek, the situation in Pune and other adjoining areas has really worsened. Orange and red alerts for Navi Mumbai as well. What is it looking like for this entire week, considering there's one more day for the schools to probably be allowed to not function because of the rain? So what are you learning in that regard?
बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने। देखिए पुणे में कल देर रात से काफी ज्यादा तेज बारिश हो रही है और इतनी ज्यादा बारिश होने की वजह से पुणे कलेक्टर ने डिसाइड किया है कि सभी स्कूलों को अब इस पुणे में बंद कर दिया गया है और पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के जितने भी आसपास के इलाके हैं वहां पर फ्लडिंग हो रही है। फ्लडिंग की वजह से रोड और घरों तक पूरा तरह से पानी भर चुका है। लोगों को काफी ज्यादा परेशानी झेलनी पड़ रही है। इसी वजह से अब पुणे कलेक्टर ने एक एडवाइजरी जारी की है और साफ तौर पे कहा है कि पूरे पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में रेड अलर्ट घोषित कर दिया गया है। सभी स्कूलों को बंद कर दिया गया है, जिसके बाद जो भी इमरजेंसी काम ना हो अपने घरों से बाहर ना निकलें, क्योंकि सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट बात यह है कि खड़क पासला डैम से 40,000 क्यूसेक पानी को छोड़ा जा रहा है। अगर बारिश इसी तरह कंटिन्यू रही तो पुणे के आसपास के इलाकों में और भी पानी भर सकता है। यही वजह है कि पुणे कलेक्टर ने सभी लोगों से कहा है कि कोई भी जरूरी काम ना हो तो अपने घरों से बाहर ना निकलें, गवर्नमेंट और प्रशासन की हेल्प करें, और गवर्नमेंट और जो वहाँ के लोकल म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन है वो अपनी पूरी कोशिश कर रहे हैं जो फ्लडिंग एरिया है वहाँ से जल्द पानी को निकाला जा सके। लेकिन अब जो स्थिति है वो ज़्यादा अच्छी नहीं दिख पा रही है। कई इलाकों में खासकर जो लो लाइन इलाके हैं पुणे और पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट के, वहाँ पे काफ़ी ज़्यादा पानी भर चुका है। जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि खड़गवासला डैम से 40,000 क्यूसेक पानी छोड़ने की वजह से जो फ्लडिंग है वो और भी होती जा रही है और पूरे पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में रेड अलर्ट घोषित किया गया है।
राइट। ऑल्सो विवेक, क्या मुंबई की अगर बात करें तो क्या स्थिति है और स्पेशली लो लाइंग एरियाज के लिए क्या एडवाइजरी है?
देखिए, अगर खाली हम मुंबई की बात करें तो सुबह 8 बजे से पहले मुंबई में येलो अलर्ट था, लेकिन कंटिन्यू बारिश होने की वजह से अब जो है वो जो येलो अलर्ट है वो ऑरेंज अलर्ट में कन्वर्ट हो चुका है। और आईएमडी के लोगों का कहना है कि सुबह 10 बजे तक ये येलो अलर्ट होगा। 10 बजे के बाद फिर से मॉनिटरिंग की जाएगी सिचुएशन को, उसके बाद कॉल जाएगा कि येलो ऑरेंज अलर्ट को आगे मॉडिफाई करना है या नहीं। इसी वजह से मुंबई के भी कई इलाकों में बारिश हो रही है, खासकर जो लो लाइन इलाके हैं कुर्ला, चेंबूर, विक्रोली, घाटकोपर, इन जगहों पर वाटर लॉगिंग की थोड़ी जो शिकायतें वो आ रही हैं। लेकिन फिलहाल अगर बात की जाए तो ऑरेंज अलर्ट है। जो सबब की बात करें तो मिलन सबवे, अंधेरी सबवे, खार सबवे को बंद कर दिया गया है क्योंकि इस पूरे सबवे में पानी भर चुका है। और यही कोशिश की जा रही है कि जो बीएमसी ने मानसून से पहले जो तैयारियां की थी, हर जगह वाटर पंप लगाए गए हैं, उन सभी वाटर पंप के जरिए से पानी को निकाला जाए। लेकिन ऑरेंज अलर्ट होने के बावजूद भी मुंबई और आसपास के इलाकों में तेज बारिश हो रही है। नवी मुंबई और थाने, इन दोनों डिस्ट्रिक्ट को रेड अलर्ट में रखा गया है। वहां पर भी बहुत ज्यादा तेज बारिश हो रही है कल रात से।
Right, thank you so much for that, Vivek. And on that note, we are slipping into a very short break. Coming right back. Now getting some breaking news from Maharashtra. Schools in Pune, Pimpri, Chindwara and nearby areas have been shut today as rains batter the region. Besides Pune city, the order to shut schools also applies for Pimpri, Chindwara, Bor, Vele, Mawal, Mulshi and other areas of Maharashtra. In fact, the Met Department has issued an orange alert for Mumbai and Palghar, and there has been a red alert that's been issued for Navi Mumbai and Thane. My colleague Yesha has more details. Yesha, what is the situation of the rainfall in the region? And now that we see orange and red alert in various places in Maharashtra, what is it looking like for not just the schools being shut, but also for general colleges and offices that will be allowed to function?
So, when you speak of the situation of rain in not only Mumbai but various parts of Maharashtra, as of now, of course, heavy rains continue in most of the parts of the state. Particularly when you speak of Pune, Mulshi area, as well as Baudhan, apart from that Raigarh area, is where we've seen waterlogging. In fact, in several places in Pune, waterlogging is there's 2 to 3 feet waterlogging where there are several NDRF teams which have been deployed in and around Pune to rescue people. Apart from that, of course, there are we also see that there is a heavy rain alert for the next 48 hours. In the entire state of Maharashtra, in Raigarh as well, we see that heavy rains have been experienced, which is where not only Pune but also Raigarh, schools in Raigarh have also been declared off for today, considering the heavy rains. Yes.
Also, Yesha, what is the situation looking like